Hey everybody, Dex Tokuyasu here. Um, I have been thinking and watching the videos. I just got done watching Riku Tazumi's own message to somebody, and I really wasn't expecting to do another video. You know, when I posted the Twitter screenshots yesterday of Any Color's own About Us page with their ethics statement, I thought that was enough. I thought, okay, well, let's make it a little fun, show that, yeah, they really need to reread their ethics page a little bit more. And then today happened. And I have to admit, I have never been more shocked in my entire life that a company can just completely like shoot itself not only in the foot, but basically pull a John Wick and somehow shoot themselves in the heart and the head. I don't know. Like they just went for headshots. Oh my god. Um, I've managed to calm myself down a lot, and I'm sure there's some of you like, no, don't calm down. But uh, your Oji-san here needs to make sure that I'm speaking in a kind of a rational point. So I'm going to address a few things that I think really do need to be addressed. First off, after watching Riku Tazumi's video, the only good thing I can say about it is that, hey, at least he kowtowed. At least he bowed 45 degrees. Showed he was very serious about that, and that is a legitimate thing. That is legitimate. He is showing apology. Um, but aside from that, they really need to have an English PR person if they're going to be addressing the Western audience, because the fact that he started off addressing the investors and the statement they made, and the fact that there was like maybe a minute at most about Selene specifically, like the whole thing just really reeked of an investor statement again. Like, this is what we're doing in order to ensure that we don't have issues going forward. This is what we're doing to ensure our livers are comfortable and that they don't have to feel afraid or anything. And you know what? All of those things are good. If they are legitimately putting those things together, great. That's wonderful. I'm glad they're doing it because it needs to be done. But none of this really addressed the core issue. None of this really addressed the core issue. And then we look at, so we're going to look at, not officially, but because I can't listen to it one more time. The whole video put out on Elira Pandora's channel with Vox and Ike Eveland. That was a surprising video. And I did not know the first time what to think. Watching it, I was so many conflicting emotions. I can't even begin to fathom what was going through their heads when they were reading that. As far as the fact of whether they were forced to read a script, I do think they were reading a script. Whether Niji wrote it for them or not, I can't tell. But it doesn't surprise me that they would have written something down. At the very least, there was an outline that specifically said, cover this, cover this, cover this, cover this. Because the fact that they had screenshots ready to go to be displayed shows that, yes, it actually was somewhat scripted. Speaking as somebody who does voice acting for a living, I will say Vox's part, at least, sounded like he did riff a few times. He did at least speaks from what he believed was the heart. The fact of the matter is, some of the things discussed, I'm going to kind of talk about just a little bit. First off, the fact that they scheduled and did this right during Doki's first gaming live stream, there's I don't believe in coincidences. There was no coincidence in this. This was an intentional attempt to derail it. And congratulations, Niji. It worked. You completely derailed her. Nice job. You didn't defeat her. You didn't hurt her in any way. You just kind of galvanized her. And unfortunately, you kind of galvanized the Dragoons, which at this point, you don't want to do. So, not exactly the best decision in your part that way. And as far as the most baffling thing I have heard yet, having them admit that you showed them information from Doki's lawyers to your lawyers. Now, I don't know Japanese law. I'm not going to pretend to. I've tried looking up a bunch of things, but honestly, at this point, I cannot, for the life of me, figure out or fathom any of this. But from what I know of U.S. law, and I've had to go before lawyers a couple of times for copyright, trying to potentially sue somebody. So I've had to deal with some of these things. Those documents need to be kept sealed and between the specific parties involved, not any third party that is not involved directly, because then you start to lose that privilege. The documents lose privilege. They no longer have privacy between just the two parties. Now all of a sudden they're available out there. And this is not something you want, you know? Because, and I have to disagree. I have to disagree with some of the people that say that this VOD that you released is like is a smoking gun, or that it's a win for you guys, Niji. I don't think it is. Now, did Selen / Doki pull a big oopsie, lack of a better term, make a mistake in posting the video ahead of time without full approvals? Honestly, yes. We can't argue that. I've worked for corporations. If you don't follow the rules, yes, you're going to get dinged. And yes, that was wrong. I knew things were going bad when she then posted on Twitter, "Dragoons, repost this video." You know, I knew that was going down a bad path. And I said that in the last video. There's just no arguing that point. We knew, you could tell she was basically going full on, I'm going down, and I'm going to make sure, but I'm going to make sure that everybody, at least this gets out, you know. And I'll be blunt, in a lot of the clips I've seen, yeah, she sometimes is a bit of a loose cannon. But the fact of the matter is, I'm pretty sure that's what you wanted, right, Niji? Because she was pretty popular because of it. She was sincere. She was heartfelt. Yeah, she kind of wore her heart on her sleeve, but speaking as somebody that does that, yeah, I kind of appreciated seeing that. But for you guys, Niji-Baka, to show all that personal information in a legally binding document sent from Selen / Doki's lawyers to your lawyers, and that you showed to Elira, Vox, and Ike, that's fucked up. That's fucked up beyond all reason. I cannot understand. No, actually, no, I can understand. Because there's one clear goal doing that. You intended to poison the well. And congratulations. It worked. You've turned them against her. Regarding the points that Vox made about how he feels very hurt that he was recorded. I fully believe that. In fact, if I was recorded by somebody, I'd feel hurt too. But the question has to be asked, what prompted her, Doki, Selen, to feel she needed to start recording? Because I'll tell you this right now, as somebody who has been in situations where after the fact, I wish I had recorded somebody because I didn't realize in the moment how hurtful they were being, how abusive they were being until it was too late. There's something going on. And just saying you feel hurt about it, okay, I understand that. But she obviously felt hurt enough that she needed to start recording you, which means something was going on for far longer than you seem to realize. And let me also be blunt. You saying, Vox, that you don't feel that anything that any of you said was abusive doesn't mean jack shit. Because it's not you who was the receiver of this. It was Selen / Doki. And what matters is how she felt, how she interpreted it. That always should be when we are talking to somebody, the first thing that crosses our mind, how is this person receiving it? If I can see them, how is their facial reactions? Are they reacting positively? Are they reacting negatively? Maybe I need to stop and ask, hey, is everything okay? Did I say something? And hopefully your relationship is to the point where you can have that kind of a conversation. I'll be honest, if it got to the point where she feels she needs to record you, probably not going to get an honest answer because she's on defensive at that point. I think it was disgusting that Niji used you guys. I think it was abhorrent that they used you guys to deliver this message. On Elira's own channel, no less. Like, really, that should have been on Any Color's channel. Even Niji Ian's channel, whatever. But the last sentence being, it's in the lawyer's hands. It already was in the lawyer's hands, people. It already was being addressed by the fucking lawyers, which is why the lawyers had sent the paperwork to Nijisanji's lawyers to keep it like that. But no, you couldn't do that. You just couldn't do that. You couldn't leave it like that. So instead, you make a video, and now I don't have it queued up. I'm not going to look to see how long it was. You make a video, black screen, except for the one time you had screenshots up of the conversation between Selen's manager and Selen. I just don't honestly know anymore what to think about you guys. And I'm saying this more to Nijisanji. As much as I'm frustrated that, Vox and Elira and Ike were the ones to deliver the message, there's a saying that I've always heard, don't shoot the messenger. But it's kind of hard not to hold them accountable because that's exactly what Nijisanji wanted. Why have them, when being in Japan recording, at least from my understanding, if I understand correctly, they all three were in Japan to deliver this message. Why have them do it if the whole point wasn't to point the finger away from Nijisanji, Ian, to them? To have them be the ones falling on you. Selen/Doki never once mentioned names. She never once said it was Livers that was bullying her. She just said someone within corporate. It was Nijisanji who dumped you guys, who threw you in front of the bus, saying Livers did it. They were the ones that provided the audience, the crowd, the pitchfork wielders, honestly, with the evidence to now know they were going to go after Livers. I will state right at this point, no way, shape, or form do I condone abuse of any fucking kind against anybody. And if you follow my channel and feel that you're justified in going after Elira, Vox, or Ike, or any of them, don't. Please honor me. Honor Doki, who said she doesn't want anyone. If you call yourself a dragoon, if you're part of my den, don't. If you are going to anyway, unsub. Because there's enough of that shit going around already. Selen already suffered the brunt of it. We don't need to do more. At some point, somebody has to be a grown-up and stop. And so right now, it doesn't seem to be Nijisanji at this point. I don't think Nijisanji knows how to be an adult at this point. I swear. I wasn't kidding when I said on Twitter. It really honestly felt like they were the mafia. Oh, you want to leave us? Go ahead. You can leave us. But understand this. You think you can live without us? You think you could say these things about us without us doing anything? Yeah. No, we're taking you down. If you're going to think you take us down, we'll take you down. It was that whole, like, turn the thumb screw kind of feeling. And if that was, honestly, that video that came out, an hour ago from Riku Tazumi, if that was his statement on the whole thing, nothing's cleared up. And I'd worry for you guys, because Doki herself has said on her shortened stream because of you that she is going to have, that she already has a prepared. The fact she had a statement prepared already for you guys shows that there's something going on. That her lawyer was smart enough to know you better have something in place because Knowing businesses, knowing corporations, they might very well go after you. Sure enough, they did, and they had something already. They've already got something in place right now. And if it's come out, I haven't seen it yet. I just kind of want to rest. I want to put this to rest, honestly. This is just tiring, exhausting. Oh my God. But I will also address the being recorded part. I've already kind of addressed it, but here's the thing. Like I said, I understand being hurt that when you're recorded. Absolutely understand that, because it is a breach of trust. Okay? It is a breach of trust, societal trust. If one person recording. Everything, however, I have seen states Canada is a one-party recording country. At least it seems to be. I couldn't find anything that says individual territories are different. But what that means is only one person has to consent to the recording, and that can be the person recording. So legally, she was 100% in the right to record. Again, it doesn't change the fact that I can understand you feel hurt. I get it. I really honestly do. But again, she felt the need, which means something had been building up to the point she felt she needed to have evidence to back up in case something went sideways. I really wish and hope you can take a moment to kind of think about that. That, did you accidentally dip too far off to the side, It's tough. You yourself have had to go through, therapy. And you know how easy it is to slip. It is easy to misunderstand things. But it's also easy for the person being the antagonist, to misunderstand and not understand the person on the receiving end. But the fact that Nijisanji corporate shared personal information, the fact that she had recorded, I don't care that whether Nijisanji releases a statement saying, we are 100% legally in the right. We're good. We feel we did an internal investigation and we're 100% right in doing it. It's not how it works. This is an international issue because Selene, as far as I know, is a Canadian citizen. She is not bound by Japanese law. She's bound by Canadian law, which means you have to deal with both sides. And from what I understand, you done broke the law. Now, whether or not anything serious is going to happen from it, I don't know. I do think that you've handed her a nice thing that she can kind of her and her lawyers can go after. But I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to sit there and expect or make any kind of an estimation. It's not my place, and I'm not going to talk out of something I don't understand fully. But in the end, all of this is to say, you need Nijisanji to read, or any color, you need to reread your about page. You need to reread that ethics portion of it. Because you've got some things on there that you need to reread to understand fully. Because without that, what's the point? I think I'm gonna stop right now, because I have been like an emotional roller coaster since I saw this at my night job, and I honestly don't need this anymore. I just hope that, because this unfortunately has just turned into one of the biggest he said she said things ever, and I worry that unfortunately Vox, Elira, and Ike are going to be the ones taking a fall because they didn't feel they had a choice. But that's the thing, isn't it? There was a choice. We don't know what, we don't know how much, but they absolutely could have said, no, I don't want to see this information. I don't want to be legally culpable for this. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form to go after them. Don't. We shouldn't. Want to direct your ire, direct it at any cutter, at any Nijisanji corporate, because they're the ones ultimately that have caused this issue. Was Selene wrong to post the coffee video? Yes, technically yes. I think we can all agree on that, right? Did it justify her being terminated? I don't know what other things happened. A corporation doesn't need a whole lot to fire you because it's usually in the States here, at least it's at will. At any point they can terminate you for any real reason. It's just nice that they have solid evidence, to back up, to justify, but really they don't need it. Japan's laws are a lot tougher. I know the Abe administration was attempting to ease up laws to allow companies to fire employees that they didn't need anymore. I don't know what happened to it. I didn't see if it went through or not. But I know companies, if they feel the need to go to oidashibeya, shame and, punishing someone, that kind of says a lot more. But either way, this today has been a nightmare, a big mess. And I think it's disgusting, again, that they did it when they did, because there was clear intent. The fact that they flew, I know Elira was already over there with Petra. I don't know about Vox or Ike, but the fact that all three of them were over there is kind of telling. And the fact that they picked intentionally their three biggest livers kind of says something right there too. Sends a message. I'm disappointed to see one by one the other Nijisanji livers endorse the video. But I understand it. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. But I understand why they did it. But nothing justifies everything that's happened to Doki. I'm sorry. But as much as you might feel hurt, none of it should have ever gotten to this point. And yeah, even Nijisanji losing all of their art, losing the artists, losing their merch partners, you're not going to win any of them back with this. Nijisanji has completely tanked their reputation. They had already done that, but this right here is basically just the smoking crater in the ground of what was once, what little bit of a reputation they had. And I still do feel bad for the livers still there, because they're the ones that have to now deal with this. They're the front line. Just please, don't treat them like garbage. Don't attack them. Direct your ire at Nijisanji En corporate. Direct it at any color. Because in the end, it starts at the top. Riku Tazumi, yeah, he went out there and he apologized today. But I still feel he apologized to his stockholders. And then it needs to go down from there. And if the changes that he had said are happening, great. That's wonderful. It's too little too late, unfortunately. But I'm glad they're starting to address something. Do I think that this will take down any color? No. Their JP side is big. In fact, JP is their main branch and stuff. From what I understand, a lot of JP fans are even questioning why Nijisanji is doing this. It's not making them look good. But I don't think in the end Nijisanji is going to completely go away. They might very well roll En back into Nijisanji proper, like they did with the Indonesian and the Indian, I think they had. Either way, I hope that this is the last video, because God help, I don't want anything more. This is nightmarish. Just let Doki have a week, okay? But I am going to be interested to see what she releases, because she has said that they are going to be releasing some stuff. And I don't think it's going to be as good. I don't think it's going to be good for anybody, I should say. So, Thank you for your time. I know this went a lot longer. I don't really want to become a tea channel. I don't want to be a news channel. But I did feel that after this nonsense today, once more, I couldn't sit idly by and allow this to not be addressed. I don't plan on editing this. I want this to be off the cuff as much as possible. I will say this though, I am going to be editing the Coral Island stream video only because of the fact that I did have several points where I did talk about Doki and took up a sizable chunk. And I think the people that just want to see Coral Island are having a, don't need to worry about that. And besides, it kind of muddies the whole thing anyway. So I'm going to include like attachments where I can. And, that's why I mentioned it here about their About page. So I'll probably put a link to the About page and this is where everything is. And, we can address from that point. But my statement on Twitter is still there with a screenshot I took of their own page. You can find it easily on anycolors.en, I think it is. But aside from that, thank you all. I will see you when I stream next, hopefully this week. And aside from that, let's just hope that Doki can actually have one freaking couple days at least of just peace and quiet and a chance to just play Neopets. Can we just let her play Neopets, please? Anybody? Like, please? Just, come on. Thank you.